And I'm going to turn to Matthew 18, verses 21 through 22, but I invite you to look at your bulletin and read with me these words that we read today from the Gospel of Matthew. Then Peter came up and said to him, "Come join me. Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? As many as 7 times, Jesus said to him. I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. Amen. Excuse me, because of my cold in my throat, I'm probably got a cough drop in my cheek here, so I hope I don't do too much coughing in here. I'll just pause for a word of prayer. We thank you, O Holy One, for your gracious, wonderful, inspiring, guiding word. For the stories from our Hebrew Bible and from our gospel lesson that instruct us in how to live in the ways of God. Be with us in this new year as we too learn from these stories, and guide us, O Lord, to be your people and to follow faithfully as they followed Moses out of Egypt. Bless the hearing of this word this day, and may some small part of what I have to say make a difference in our lives and friends to see. In Jesus' name, amen. For the next few weeks, we will be examining some Bible stories from the viewpoint of reboot your life. And you could have seen that as you came in the doors this morning. It says, keep calm and try rebooting. So why this title? Just before Thanksgiving, I was having a problem with my phone. It is getting rather old, and it does have an occasional hiccup, and that makes my insides quake as I think about having to replace it. When a computer device is giving me trouble, the first thing I do is breathe, remain calm, and then I call my son Jason or my husband Kevin, whichever one is closer. And in this case, the closer one was Jason. So he comes over, sits next to me, says, "So what's the problem?" And I explain, and we chat for like 2 minutes. And then he asks, "Have you turned it off and on?" "No," replies me. Cue the eye roll. And then Jason said, "And what does Dad always say when the computer gets stuck?" Me. Reboot, turn it off and on. Jason looks at me with a very pointed way. I get it. You turn the phone off and on, and it's just fine. It's working good, isn't it? Sometimes our lives get a little bit mucked up. They don't work right. They get off kilter or stuck. They go blank. And it's time to turn ourselves off, pause with God, pray, and then move forward again. A life reboot, if you will. Sometimes it just takes a minute. Sometimes it takes a week. Sometimes it takes a long time, as in Moses' case. Now, according to Avante Sen, who is a content blogger and digital marketer at Tech Yoga, this is what a reboot does. When the computer has too many tasks to run, or a set of physical events occur in a sequence that the software writers weren't expecting, yep, I can do that, then tasks can get stuck in memory. Computer scientists talk about the deadly embrace that occurs when task A is waiting for task B to be done, and task B is waiting for task A to be done, causing them both to get stuck. In addition, Sen continues, as tasks run, they fetch and they use resources such as a computer memory, and over time, the arrangement of these resources will become fragmented and harder to manage. So a reboot may also be a temporary fix for problems caused by hardware that's becoming unreliable, particularly if things start to go wrong when the components get hot. Modern operating systems are optimized for spotting and removing stuck processes, but sometimes a computer can reach a state where the best thing to do is start again from scratch. A reboot removes every task and then restarts with a clean slate. And we're going to find some very interesting Bible stories in the next few weeks where we talk about the issues and the problems, and then the reboot and the clean slate. So at the beginning of 2017, it seems like a good time to evaluate our lives and the lives of some major biblical characters to see how they and God work together to reboot their lives and their ministries. By stopping, restarting, we begin with a clean slate, and that is the grace of God at work in our lives and in our ministries. And today we begin with Moses, someone held in high esteem by the people of the three Abrahamic faiths, Christian, Jewish, and Muslim. We lovingly tell stories of his birth narrative. We just love that little basket and the weed reeds and how the sister Pharaoh comes over and picks up the baby and claims him as her own. We talk about this encounter with the burning bush that we just talked about with the children with great reverence. We share the story of this challenging Pharaoh and his faith leading people out of Egypt, and we marvel at his leadership skills as he leads a group of complaining, sometimes disobedient people who lack faith in God and in Moses' ability to lead them. We just love telling stories about Moses. Why would he possibly need to reboot his life? Well, actually, dear old Moses had a 20-year time period of rebooting his life. And then after that, God had him lead a slave people into freedom. And that took 40 years to reboot their lives as they overcame what they knew as slaves to become free people. Moses' reboot began in Exodus 2 and 3, as Joyce read for us today. And in those verses, Moses, the murderer, receives a mission and a ministry. Now, a prayer on Wednesday, this would have been 2 weeks ago now, we debated about calling it murder and why he would be punished for that. See, the reality is he's a prince of Egypt. He is perceived as a god, and he had absolute power except for Pharaoh and the other fellow prince. He could have wiped out half a region with a word, and no one would have been able to say good. Or they would have joined the fate of the regiment. And then there are some scholars who argue it wasn't murder, and it didn't have anything to do with him being Prince of Egypt. It was a justice issue. As Moses was defending the defenseless slave, Moses was trying to right the wrong for the people he knew to be his. But trying to do it by himself without the guidance and direction of God, killing and hiding it, this won't save many Hebrews or right the wrongness of slavery and racism that needs to occur. And guess what? God, as usual, has another way, a better way. We don't know all that's going on, and I'm sure it would have taken another whole Bible to explain the politics of all of this. The Bible is always having to leave out the good, juicy details for brevity's sake. But we can make an educated guess or two. There are two princes of Egypt, one rightful blood nephew and one adopted nephew. If it got out the adopted nephew wasn't even Egyptian, but he was actually Hebrew, a baby saved from an awful edict of a previous pharaoh, and if that became known among the Hebrews, they would have a savior. And if the Hebrews had a blood relative in the palace, they might become favored, or even worse, led in rebellion. And that might mean the end of the Egyptian pharaoh's bloodline. So this whole murder story was a convenient way for the blood nephew to get rid of the adopted nephew and eliminate him as his rival to become pharaoh. God hates injustice. And where there is evil and hurt and horrible injustice, here in this place where racism and enslaved people led to a baby saved from patricide and raised in the palace, God had the perfect person, trained and ready, or almost ready, to lead the Hebrew people out of Egypt. But Moses, raised in the ways and shadow of Pharaoh and the Egyptian religion, needed a reboot to his life in order for him to be completely qualified for his mission. Praise to the Ancient History Encyclopedia says, a supreme ruler of the people, the Pharaoh was considered a god on earth, the intermediary between the gods and the people. And as such, he was the high priest of every temple. It was the Pharaoh's duty to build great temples and monuments celebrating his own achievements and paying homage to the gods of the land. Additionally, the Pharaoh would officiate at religious ceremonies, choose the sites of temples, and decree what work would be done. So as Prince in Egypt, Moses was trained to think of himself as a god. And he was trained to lead religious ceremonies and to build temples to himself, as well as to do all the political and governmental things a pharaoh had to do. Perfect training for someone to lead a people out of Egypt. However, there was that sticky little bit about him being trained to think of himself as a god. That would have to go. And you just can't unlearn that in a day. Because we all know that every good Hebrew knows there's only one God, and he isn't human. And even if Moses knew he was a Hebrew, there was probably no way he knew all the ins and outs of the Hebrew religion and the Hebrew God. So he marries an Egyptian to protect a Hebrew, is thrown out of Egypt. He becomes a homeless person. The perfect training ground to reboot a man who thinks of himself as God. So the homeless person treks across the desert. A rough job for a prince, even when trained in the art of war and living out in the open while leading war, but with no servants to do for him and set up his tent and do his cooking. It's a little rough life, isn't it? Little circles, rebooting. And this man, who's gallant and strong, fights for justice for the oppressed. He fights against some rough men who are bullying the local shepherdesses. And he becomes a guest and friend of Jethro, a local priest. Now, he is set to relearn about religion and God and learn the things and ways of the Bedouins' God and the role of a priest, a spiritual leader, in a non-Egyptian setting. Rebooting. And this man named Moses is now set to become a shepherd in a desert and learn to live in desert conditions and herd reluctant and complaining and not so smart animals. Great training for his ministry to come. He has a long time to learn the ways of sheep and shepherds and the wilderness. He has lots of time to think and reflect upon his life, what was and what is now. Circle, keep circling. Rebooting. Until the moment when God hits the power button on the burning bush. In this odd sight lures Moses from his shepherding to climb the mountain to receive a new mission. And what have we learned happens on the mountain? Anybody? The bush. But anytime somebody's up on the mountain, that's the clue. We're getting closer to God. That's our sign. Getting up on the mountain is closer to God. So, he's up on the mountain, finding the burning bush, and all of a sudden, he's talking to this God of the Hebrew people. His people. And God and Moses have this conversation through the burning bush. And the man who was once trained to lead the Egyptians in religion, war, and politics, who had might and power, is very humble. And he says, I'm sorry, I can't do this. He says, I don't know you as my people know you. And God says, it's okay. Aaron knows me well, and he will help you. Rebooting complete. God's way was more complete and efficient than the way Moses began with killing one Egyptian. God's way freed an entire people with no killing of the Hebrews. And unfortunately, many Egyptians died because of their own hand, because they didn't listen to the God of the Hebrews. So there's our character number 1. Life reboot. From thinking himself God to serving the one and only God. As we go through our characters, we will encounter different things that blocked people and kept people from serving God. But each and every time the grace of God comes forth and helps reclaim those people and lets them begin again. Now I have before me, what is this? This cross was made by Ralph Chris in 4/13/91. Now this cross is very special to me. This is one of the first churches I served as an interim pastor as a student. And Ralph and Grace were just wonderful people. Can you describe this cross for me? It looks wooden and worn. Something you can't see from up there. Can you tell what wore it down? Anybody have a guess? You can see it? It looks like a dog. That would be exactly right. This cross was perfect like this for like 4 years without any chew marks on it. And it sat on my writing desk in an alcove in my parsonage in upstate New York. And it was just perfect. There were no chew marks on it. And I got a puppy named Susanna, for Susanna Wesley, of course, John and Charles's mom. And one day I came home and my cross was on the floor and looked like this. I was not a happy mommy. But, you know, she looks at you with those big brown eyes. And you're like, all right. But, you know, the next day I looked at this cross and I realized it was perfect with its little chew marks because it was Susanna who had reformed the cross. And so, part of this reboot is to realize that we are perfect as we are, with our little chew marks on the side and over here and at the top. We are still perfect like we are. So, that's just part of what we're doing this reboot series for, so that we can see in whatever place we are in our lives, God is with us. And God will use all that we are, chew marks and all, to serve Him and bring forth God's purposes in God's kingdom. So hopefully that's something we'll take away from this Life Reboot series. For Psalm 103:8-12 says, "The God we worship and serve is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. He will not always accuse, nor will He keep His anger forever. He does not deal with us according to our sins, nor repay us according to our iniquities. For as the heavens are high above the earth, so great is His steadfast love toward those who fear Him. As far as the east is from the west, so far He removes our transgressions from us." Thanks be to God. Amen.